are these people?
Like I said, every week we kind of have been having to do a fuck Israel segment, and unfortunately, this is not a different week. So a couple of people I saw started to pick this story up yesterday, or starting last night and into today. I saw it on Friday when I was putting together the document for the show tonight, and I'm like, oh, this is going to have to be something we include. And I didn't think that a lot of people would actually catch it. This is out of an Israeli newsletter called 972 Magazine. And I don't subscribe to it normally, but someone shared it somewhere and it made it into my newsfeed. And that's kind of where I went with this. And I went, oh boy. So they're now finally admitting that they knew that dropping the bombs would gas anybody in the tunnels that were underneath. And, of course, would kill all the people in the buildings above that they bombed. I don't think this is much of a surprise, but now you literally have an Israeli general on the record
saying what they said.
Right. So this is, again, just published the other day in 972. The Israeli army intensively bombarded residential areas in Gaza when it lacked intelligence on the exact location of Hamas commanders hiding underground, and intentionally weaponized toxic byproducts of bombs to suffocate militants in their tunnels, also hostages, but they don't want to say that. And that's what the investigation by 972 and Local Call can reveal. That's what they're allowed to reveal. They're proud of this. The investigation, based on conversations with 15 military intelligence and Shin Bet officers who've been involved with tunnel targeting operations since October 7th, exposes how this strategy aimed to compensate for the Army's inability to pinpoint targets in Hamas's subterranean tunnel network. When targeting senior commanders in the group, the Israeli military authorized the killing of triple-digit numbers of Palestinian civilians as collateral damage and maintained close real-time coordination with U.S. officials regarding the expected casualty figures. Now, I'm going to stop there for 1 second.
Yeah, we killed him, but trust us, this guy was horrid.
Abu Bakr Abed, journalist on the ground, said that, look, you can't necessarily believe anything that 972 and Haaretz say, because they're funded and representing of Zionists still. Even though they're telling the truth, they may be telling the truth, it's all told with a disgusting bias and slant. And they're sometimes trying to justify what they're saying, or they're proud of it. And it's not, it's the opposite of what we would want. But at least we're getting the information. Like they said here, some of the strikes, which are the deadliest in the war and often used American bombs, yes, we are responsible, are known to have killed Israeli hostages. Like I said, they killed Israelis, despite concerns raised ahead of time by military officers and the families of the hostages. Moreover, the lack of precise intelligence meant that in at least 3 major strikes, the Army dropped several 2,000-pound bunker buster bombs that killed scores of civilians, which we know they didn't care, part of a strategy known as tiling, without succeeding in killing the intended target. So they dropped all this stuff, and they didn't even get who they wanted to get. Oh well, no repercussions, no consequences. Quote, pinpointing a target inside a tunnel is hard, so you attack a wide radius. Yeah. That's what pussies do. Given that the Army would only have a vague approximation of the target's location, the source explained, this radius would be as large as tens and sometimes hundreds of meters, meaning these bombing operations collapsed multiple apartment buildings on their occupants without warning. Yeah, thanks, assholes. We saw the footage of that, the drone footage of that shit back in October and November of 2023.
Nazis. I hate these guys.
Max Blumenthal and the Gray Zone had somebody's drone footage that was just bone chilling. And he narrates it, and it's
Yeah, it's
awful.
pretty bad.
Quote, suddenly you see how someone in the IDF really behaves when given the opportunity to wipe out an entire residential block, and they do it. The investigation also
You better say
reveals...
Free Palestine.
Yeah, not them. The investigation also reveals how Israel has known for years that the use of bunker buster bombs releases the lethal gas carbon monoxide as a byproduct, which of course does kill people inside a tunnel through asphyxiation, even at a distance of hundreds of meters from the strike location. After discovering this by chance in 2017, the Army first tested it as a strategy in Gaza in 2021, these motherfuckers, and employed it in its efforts to kill Hamas commanders after October 7th. This way, the Army could attack
as well
targets.
as, by the way, flooding the tunnels with seawater and concrete. They did both. Like, they give two shits about those hostages. They do not care if they come back alive.
Nope.
They don't care.
Actually, they kind of prefer they don't, because then they can say whatever they want about what happened to them.
Yep.
All right.
So
this way, the Army could attack targets without knowing their precise location and without having to rely on direct hits. Yeah, they just wipe out everybody in the area. Drop a fucking massive bomb.
Yes.
You know, it's literally like
bunker
dropping
buster.
a bomb. Yes, a bunker buster
yes.
on thousands of children.
Yeah, which,
like, they don't...
1,000-pound bombs, illegal to use, yet we're still going to give them to them. And not only that, but we also decided, well, 1,000 clearly isn't enough, even though it's already illegal. How about a 2,000-pound bomb? How about you take that too?
The Hague has access to this, you know.
Not good enough. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
And here's this Brigadier General, Guy Hazut, all right? The only source willing to be named. All right? The gas stays underground and people suffocate. We realized we could effectively target anyone underground using the Air Force's bunker buster bombs, which, if they don't destroy the tunnel, release gases that kill anyone inside. The tunnel then becomes a death trap. Nice guy.
Yeah. Someone should go smell a backpack over there and see if it's, in
January,
see if it's poison.
A year ago, January, a spokesman for the Israeli army, after they'd already been murdering Palestinians daily for 4 months, told 972 in local call in response to a previous investigation that it has never used and does not currently use byproducts of bomb deployment to harm its targets. And there is no such technique in the IDF. Oh. Yet our new investigation reveals that the Air Force conducted physiochemical research on the effect of gas in enclosed spaces, and the military has deliberated over the method's ethical implications. So they knew it, they tested it, and they argued over whether they should use it, and then decided, fuck it, we're going to use it, while denying that they did it the whole time. But Israelis never lie. Just remember that. They never lie. 3 Israeli hostages, and this was the narrative, and this made me fucking crazy this week. I'll talk about this afterwards. But 3 Israeli hostages, Nick Bezier, Ron Sherman, and Elia Toledano, were definitively killed by asphyxiation as a result of a November 10th, 2023 bombing that targeted Ahmed Gandour, a Hamas brigade commander in northern Gaza. The army told their families that at the time of bombing, it was unaware that the hostages were being held near Gandour. However, 3 sources with knowledge of the strike, which was led by the Shin Bet, told 972 in local call there was ambiguous intelligence indicating that hostages might be in the vicinity, yet the attack was still authorized because it was a Hannibal. There was Hannibal directive ordered anywhere possible. If you could take out Hamas in any way, shape, or form, it did not matter if there were hostages there or not. Take them out. And that's allegedly not the directive. The directive is to avoid Israeli soldiers being captured, but we all know that they've twisted that interpretation to suit their needs whenever they felt like it. Again, according to 6 sources, this was not an isolated case, but one of dozens of Israeli airstrikes that likely endangered or killed hostages. Of course it is. They described how the military command green-lighted attacks on the homes of suspected kidnappers and the tunnels from which senior Hamas figures were directing the fighting. How did they know which tunnels they were in and not just send in people to go get them? Weird.
Well, they're very aware of tunnels. They know tunnels really well.
Secret tunnels. But that's under Brooklyn. That's not under Gaza.
Yeah, I love how no more investigations into those tunnels happened. I love how that you know.
Yeah. While attacks were aborted, while there was specific definitive intelligence indicating the presence of a hostage, the army routinely authorized strikes when the intelligence picture was murky and there was a general likelihood that hostages were present in the vicinity of a target. Well, mistakes definitely happened and we bombed hostages, one intelligence source said. At least they're willing to admit it. I hope they can sleep well at night. Actually, I hope they can't. Israel's efforts to maximize the chances of killing senior militants hiding underground also included attempts to crush parts of a tunnel network and trap the targets inside. Sources described incidents where vehicles fleeing an attack site were bombed without specific intelligence about who was inside, like the World Central Kitchen people, even when they had that intelligence, based on the assumption that a senior Hamas figure might be trying to escape. That was what they said about one of the... Was that Hind Rajab? Was that they said that one of the people in her ambulance was a Hamas person trying to escape? So they had to shoot her 355 Allegedly. Times while she's crying for help?
That is correct. From a tank.
Quote, the entire region felt that they could clearly... Yep.
With that tank had optics that they could see, the hair on a fly if they needed to. They knew exactly what they were shooting at.
Yep.
But yes, continue.
Quote, the entire region and felt and heard the explosions. Abdel Hadi Okal, which is a Palestinian journalist from Jabalia, who witnessed several major Israeli bombing operations. Now, Jabalia, I believe, is in the West Bank, which is also right now getting destroyed and cleansed.
Destroyed. Right? That is correct.
Palestinians referred to these bombing operations as fire belts during the early weeks of the war. All right. Entire residential blocks were targeted with heavy missiles, causing buildings to collapse and fall on top of each other. Ambulances and civil defense vehicles were unable to contend with the scale of the bombardment, so people had to use their hands and some light equipment to pull bodies from the rubble of houses. There was no possibility for anyone to survive. Bunker busters, baby. That's what.
And now they're finding decapitated heads and all sorts of stuff in the, what do they call it? Some corridor.
Yep. In the
it's where all the
in the Netzarim corridor. All right.
That's it. Yeah, where they were having barbecues and free lattes.
Okay, this is
right next to piles of Palestinian bodies.
Again, a long article about how they knew and what the plan was to gas the tunnels. All right. I had an issue with how some people were willing to do absolutely anything to achieve that objective. The number of civilians they were willing to kill, the way they saw it, everything was just an obstacle in their way, even the hostages. Yeah.
Yeah. That is correct.
If they don't know where the hostages are and still bomb
I'm surprised
tunnels,
they didn't just...
It's a policy, yep.
Start using Zyklon B instead of carbon dioxide. Just go full bore.
Again, I'm not reading through this whole thing, obviously. There's another one. The bodies of their... what does that say? Palestinians wait to receive the bodies of their relatives killed in an Israeli airstrike at Al-Najjar. And this was December 7th, 2023. I think Rafat might be in there.
Yeah.
I think we're fine.
Possible.
Al-Rear might be in there. Oh man. Okay. So that was part 1 of Fuck Israel. Read this. I'll put this in the description afterwards. So if you are able to in any way, please share the stream first of all. Take care of your friends, take care of your family, as Care Bear likes to say. But if you're able to and you've got a few bucks, Cash App, $Indie News Network is the easiest, best way to do that without fees. ko-fi.com/Indie News Network or paypal.me/Indie News Network eliminates the Ko-fi fee. And then Substack, that's our
shout
newsletter.
out Care Bear who gave us $5 earlier.
Hey, yeah, no, thank you, Care Bear.
Appreciate you, fam.
Hell yeah, brother. That's our wall of fame. Those are the best people in the world. Those are the people we live. Because guess what? They support our network. Who are these people? Well, there's their names right there. Those are the ones that have actually contributed and tipped our channel and tipped our live streams and are trying to contribute to the media they want to see and funding the media they want to see. Because corporate media ain't telling you stuff like that. These are the people that would help us get our reporting back if we ever got shut down. These are the amazing people that are on our wall of fame that support our channel, our network, and what we do here. They fund the media they want to see. Show me the money! We've got Cash App is $Indie News Network. They'll be down in the ticker scrolling there. You've got ko-fi.com/Indie News Network, paypal.me/Indie News Network, and you can also subscribe monthly. Yes, that you can subscribe at innnewsletter.com on a monthly or an annual basis. Certainly, we are demonetized, and YouTube doesn't like stories like that. So please, if you can,
will not be televised.
it certainly will not. But I don't also think that it will end up allowed on YouTube in the end, which is why we're working toward a self-hosting solution at some point that we're going to be able to direct everyone to a website, and then we'll be able to chat via a Discord server, and
modern problems require modern solutions.
All will hopefully be avoidable of the major censors, so we can keep saying what we want to say, and nobody's going to try to stop us. Support independent media because we need it more than ever.
Yep. Keep listening to what Boats had to tell you, fam. Good night.
Mwah. Ciao, baby.
No! We just fucking lost the stream!
You can keep giving us nothing and think we're bluffing about coming for your heads. Why play civil if you won't listen to 50,000 dead? And now we know our mission, we form a militia, make Congress a prison. No, why play civil when all these dead won't make you listen? What's more American than slaying your oppressors? What's more American than liberty or death first? God, I thought we were founded on abolishing the tyranny of those who would starve a village all to live empirically. And I regret that I have only one life to give for my cause now that I can see the cause so clearly. See, I want our leaders, regardless of party, to fear me.